What is up, guys? My name is Ryan. Welcome to another Arknights Endfield video. So this is, I think, the fifth video to this game, which is kind of odd because I didn't post multiple videos to a game for a very long time because I didn't stick long enough. But that I decided to post this has to kind of mean something. And in today's video, I want to do a honest review on Arknights Endfield after playing it for 14 days. So I think today is the 14th day. Pretty much 2 weeks every day. And yeah, I want to get straight to the point. I don't want to yap too much. I did prepare a guideline with 10 points where we want to talk about in this video. So yeah. I will just talk about every point. If I don't forget, I will put timestamps in the description or in the comments down below, so that if you only want to listen to a certain topic, and yeah, if you only want to listen to a certain topic, you can just click on the timestamps. So, okay, let's get straight to the point. Let's talk about early game and beginner friendly. So I have to start here. I started Arknights Endfield completely blind. I didn't inform myself. I didn't watch any videos or something. I didn't even really know about the release of this game, and I played it more because of FOMO. Because yeah, as you guys can see, the name of my YouTube channel is Gacha Gaming, and I do play gacha games. I do enjoy playing that, and every here and then a big gacha release happens, and I always do test them. But I think this time on Arknights Endfield, I was not motivated at all. I just played it because it was a new big release. And yeah, I have to say that early game and beginner and the beginning of the game and the introduction of the game was very clunky. I didn't enjoy it at all. So on the very first day, on the release day, I only played for 1 hour because there were so many menus. It was so overwhelming. It wasn't introduction friendly. I didn't want to read every part of it because you had pretty much a lot of different menus and stuff that is going on. The only thing that was a little bit that I did know a little bit about was the combat system, but only because I did play other games before. That's why I kind of knew how it works. But yeah, even though the combat system here is still different, but at least I know a little bit how to combat against enemies in this game. But yeah, I'd say the first 4 hours were really clunky. It wasn't really fun to play. So I tortured myself to continue because I said to myself, yeah, I want to give this game an honest renew. I want to give this game an honest chance, and that's why I just continued to play this game. And yeah, but I have to say it is not really beginner friendly. And I talked to my friends, and a lot of them did quit the game after the 3 to 4 hours. And yeah, I noticed here that first impression of a game is so important. So I think they need to do something especially about the early game, so that newer players that come to the game will stick to it. Yeah, that's at least what I have to say about the beginning. So that was enough rant. I think now most of the other aspect will be more on the positive side. There will be some negatives still, but yeah, I'd say early game beginner friendliness is the most negative thing of my 10 points. Now, story, gameplay, and pace of the game. Second point. Story, I'm gonna be honest, I cannot say a lot about the story because I didn't play the original Arknights, and I'm not really a story player. I think I only, out of all the games, I only played Genshin 1.0 and maybe up until 1.3. I did read the story and watch the story, but after that I always ignored the story. I mean, yeah, in Genshin you couldn't skip the story for, I think, the first 3 years or something. But in this game, you will be able to skip the story from the very beginning. And I mainly play for gameplay. That's why I cannot tell a lot about the story. I don't really can say if the story is good or not. But I can tell something about the gameplay. And I like the gameplay. As I said, in the beginning, in the first 3 to 4 hours, it will be a little bit like playing another Genshin or WoWa thing, but different. So I didn't notice that in the very first beginning that there were some major improvements in this game. At least it didn't feel like it. But what I noticed is that you will play 4 characters at the same time. So I will show you this. What I do really like. As you can see, we already have 4 characters. And if you attack... Okay, I don't have enemies here. But if you would attack and there would be enemies, the other 3 characters would also attack. And that is what I did really like. So basically, if one character uses basic attacks, all 3 other characters in your team also uses basic attacks. And yeah, then you have a menu where you can... Okay, maybe I will port to a... Oh, here's a chest. Okay. Okay, but there are enemies. I found some. Okay, sorry for that cut. I didn't plan to do this. Okay, but here, as you can see, at the top bottom, there are all 4 abilities. This is like equal to your E in Genshin Impact, and this one is your ultimate bar, and this is equal to your Q in Genshin Impact. As you can see, I'm currently controlling this operator, and all the other operators are attacking passively with their passive. This is one aspect of the game that I do really enjoy. And I can attack too. And then I can, for example, still use the ability of my second operator by pressing 2. So he uses the ability now, as you can see. So yeah, he is just using the ability. And if I just press Alt, even though I'm controlling this operator, he will also use his Alt. This is one aspect that I do really like. And then, of course, if you do some amount of attacks, there will be this combo symbol. And then you can do combos. And if you press Q, you will switch to another operator, and then you can play the other operator. So yeah, that was actually the aspect that I did enjoy the most. All right, so let's get back to my bullet points here, to my guideline. So yeah, pace of the game, as I said, the first couple of hours were really painful, but I said after 4 to 5 hours, I became completely obsessed with this game, because after that, after all the tutorials, after all the menus, you have to start using the knowledge that you gathered before. And after playing more and more, I did enjoy the game more and more. And that is what I heard from the majority of players, because I felt exactly the same. I felt if you do continue to play the game, you will become obsessed with the game. This game was really, really fun after you start to understand different aspects of the game. Yeah, at least this in terms of gameplay. Is there anything else that I want to cover here? I mean, yeah, as you can see, I did build most of my characters. I think this is something that I don't want to really cover, because I think this is very similar to other gacha titles, that you want to get the weapon, upgrade the equipment, the level of the characters, the talents of the characters. This is not really something that belongs to the gameplay that is barely new. I think this belongs pretty much into every gacha game, or at least from what I've played before. And that's why, yeah, this is not a thing that I want to cover. Next thing is gacha. Gacha system, characters, weapons. So as you can see, these are my characters. And I have, in this game, there are 3 rarities. So we have, let's start off maybe with, let's start off with this. So we have 4-star operators. Then we have 5-star operators. And then we have 6-star operators. And if we do compare, there's 1 rarity more. Usually in other games there are only 5 stars and 4 stars, but this game has 4 stars, 5 stars, and 6 stars. And 6 stars are equal to the 5 stars in other games. So it's equal to a legendary character in Genshin Impact, a 5-star character there. And as you can see, I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4 6-star operators. Did I miss one? I think, yeah, he's a 6 operator too, but this is the main character. You will get him if you start the game. So I didn't miss out, right? So we have Levitain, I have Last Ride, I have him, and him. So these are 4. And I have Adelia. Forgot about Adelia. But Adelia is free to play in this game. So yeah, talking about the gacha system. So as of right now, I think it's pretty free to play, because I wasn't lucky at all. I did pull all these characters. I mean, okay, I cannot say that I wasn't lucky at all, because I did pull Last Ride, but I wasn't lucky in terms of that I did hit something very, very early. So we go to the banners. As you can see, I did the full pity here. If you do understand this game, after 120 pulls, you are guaranteed to get the new limited character. But after 80 pulls, which is very, very confusing, I still don't understand the gacha here, you get a 50-50. So in 80 pulls, you have a 50-50. And if you do 40 pulls more, you are guaranteed to get the limited character. Usually, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, I think Wuthering Waves 2 is you get on the pity, you have a 50-50. If you lose at 50-50, the next time you get to the pity or you would pull a 5-star character, you will be guaranteed to get it. But here it is after half of the pulls, so I think this is pretty good. If you win the 50-50 on 80, nice, you have the character. If not, then at 120. I don't want to go further in terms of how the gacha system continues, because I think majority of players are only interested in getting one copy of the character. Nice thing is, after you pull in this banner, you get currency for the weapon banner. And the weapon banner is, I think, oh, wait a sec. I think the weapon banner is really very, very cool, because the rates in this banner are way higher than in other games. So I think it was pretty doable as a free-to-play to get the weapon if you want to. It has, well, where was I able to look at it? I think here. Yeah. So I think here you have a 4% base rate drop. This is pretty high for a gacha game. Most other games have 1% or less. So I'd say 4% is very, very good. You will be able to get a lot of 6-star weapons, and it should be very doable to get the designed weapon, and there is a pity too. And even though you hit the pity, so as you can see here, if I do perform 8 more summons, I get another copy of this weapon. If I do 16 more summons, I get even a chest where I can pick another alternatively 6-star weapon. So I think this is a system that I do really like about this game. And yeah, as a free-to-play that wasn't lucky, I did hit every pity. So if you start a game, you get a banner. It usually will be over this banner, where you can do 4 multis. These multis you will get by progressing through the story. You can pull in that banner, and then you're guaranteed to get a 6 operator after 4 multis. Then I'd say around level 20, which will take you, I don't know, an average player will maybe take 4 to 5 days, I'd say, to or maybe if you're fast, 2 to 3 days. I don't know. But let's say 4 to 5 days is realistic. If you don't play the game the whole day or something, if you just log in for a couple of hours, just play the game a bit casually, then I'd say around this level, you will get the pity in this banner. And there is your second 6-star operator. Then the first login there, after 3 days, you get Audelia, which is one of the best supporters in the game right now. So after that, after not even a week, you should have already have 3 6-star operators. Pretty much, even if you're not lucky. Even if you're not lucky, you should have 3 6-star operators. Not counting if you're not pulling in this banner. Because I'd say to get level 10, you have to be a bit lucky. Because I'd say you don't really do it in your early game playthrough, because you get a lot of Ouroborals, but there's not enough for 120 pulls in the early game. You have to reach end of mid game, or yeah, even end game at least, to get all the pulls for level 10, or you're lucky and get her earlier. But I think you have a very good start if you can get like 3 6-star pulls. And then today, that was even released today. Where is it? I think it's here. We get this. You get a 3 6-star operator from the standard banner of your choice. So I didn't use it yet because, yeah, I have all 6-star operators except for Amber, but I don't know if I want to have Amber. So I'm still thinking on which one I want to get. But yeah, this is something that you also get if you're logging into the game right now. And this is also insane in my opinion. Yeah. So you will probably have 4 6-star operators now. So yeah, it could be that you get dupes and something of this, but yeah, you get a lot of things. So I think in terms of gacha system, this game is all right, at least in terms for early and mid game progression. Okay, let's continue because I think I talked a little bit factory system because as it's in full production, this is one of the most enjoyable things in this game. So I don't want to talk about how the factory system works. I just want to show you guys like briefly. Is it right? Yeah, I think this is my factory system that I just copied from another player. I'm not at the very early game. I did everything myself. I did do a factory for myself, but I have to commit. I have to admit that I'm not very good at it. So I just did it because it was fun. I did it on my own pace because I thought, yeah, nothing runs away. You don't have PvP or something in this game. I can play the game on my pace, which why I did my own factory. But reaching the end game, I noticed that I do need a lot of materials and that I cannot do it for myself. And I also didn't wanted to invest the time because I knew that I cannot get it as optimized as other players. So I just copied the blueprint and put it into my factory. And yeah, this is now the factory that I use. And it passively now produces a lot of things. Might show you here. As you can see, this is right now, this is my production line. And yeah, I think this is one of the most fun things in this game. I think this is one of the majority of things that I do enjoy in this game. But I have to admit, at the very beginning, I felt the factory system was very intimidating. At least if you never played something like this, because I never played Satisfactory or anything similar to this. But it could be a reason why I did enjoy it so much. Because at the beginning, it was kind of hard to understand everything. But you get very quickly into it as you just continue to play the game. And as I've continued the game, I did understand more and I felt, hey, this is really cool. And that's why I thought this is a very enjoyable part. Also, this helps you a lot with your progression. And that is one thing that I do really like. Most other gachas, they rely on a stamina system. Of course, this game also has it, but they rely on a stamina system in the end game where you form your gear, and this gear has RNG factors, and then you have to go days by days until you get the right gear equipped to your characters, and then you can clear the end game content, which is usually how I do know. But in this you can produce a lot of things that you will need for stuff for character progression, for progression in your account in general. And that's why I felt this is a very enjoyable thing, because you can adjust that to your liking. Yeah, there are optimized builds, but even the optimized builds can be adjusted into your preference. And that is what I do really like about the factory system. Okay, next point after the factory system. Gear. Yeah, gear, as you can see here, I did equip 5-star gears most of the time, which I do think is really cool. Is this gear is completely crafted by the factory, so you don't have to run in a dungeon to get this gear. You can get this fully from going into the dungeon, but gears have upgrades, as you can see here. This is fully upgraded, this blue line. This is 0 upgraded. And how you upgrade this is just to produce multiple of these gears. But this gets very expensive in the current state of the game, because you are kind of limited by your stock builds in the factory. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into the factory, but you produce stuff in your factory and then you sell it and then you get money out of it. And you use this money to get your gear done, or there are also other things that you need to do and to buy. But yeah, one of the aspects is gear, because we're right now talking about it. And then you can craft your gear, and to upgrade the gear, you have to produce multiple. So you have to do this a lot of times, and it is not, and the upgrade is not guaranteed in this game. So yeah, for example, if I can just show you guys this quickly. Let's say this, I produce this one time. This is the materials that I need. I crafted the gear, and then there's this menu. It's called Artificing, where you can upgrade your gear. And I fully upgraded this. And then there's Ultimate Gain Efficiency. Now I use this to upgrade this. I don't want to explain you guys how to optimize it, but yeah, this is the way that I do it. And if the upgrade is successfully, you get from 30.6% to 14.8% Ultimate Gain Efficiency. And as you can see here, there's a pity, 2 out of 12. So if I do this 12 times, it is guaranteed to get the upgrade. And here's what makes this so expensive is that this upgrade is not guaranteed. And you also do need these batteries, which you have to buy by using your money. Now I do this and it wasn't successful. So now I have to do this another, at least another one time. And if this is not successful, I have to do the maximum amount of 9 times more. So I have 12 out of 12, then it is guaranteed. And then I think it becomes double. So the next upgrade will be 24. So I have to do 24 to get the pity for the upgrade. This is one thing, actually, I find it's really fun because it is not stamina locked. Yeah, you have an RNG factor, you have to produce a lot, you have to have a lot of money, you have to do this for multiple characters. But in other gacha games, you would run into a dungeon, farm until you get the right stats. And here it is fixed. You don't have RNG in the stats, you only have RNG into the upgrade. And you can produce your upgrades by your factory. And this is one point that I like in the game. Other parts of the gear is the weapon. The weapon can be equipped to essence. This is now the thing that is most similar to artifacts or relics in Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, but you only have to farm one piece. Yeah, this is the RNG factor because you want to roll 3 of the right stats, which matches with your weapon. So, for example, this weapon here has intellect boost, attack boost, twilight, and now I equipped it with this essence, which only has intellect, attack boost, and will boost. Now, will boost had to be twilight, and then I had 3 matching lines with this essence. I just started to farm these yesterday. I didn't prioritize it too much for now. But yeah, I think now I'm getting started with it. And yeah, this is the stamina content that you want to have to do. But you only have to farm one piece, and one dungeon drops multiple pieces. So I think this is still very doable. Also, you can pre-imprint this again with your factory by collecting money, and then you can buy tickets. Do I want to show this right now? Yeah, I think I'll show this really. So here's pretty much a dungeon. You go here, and then there's current pre-engraved stats. You go to this, and then you can choose some stats in between. It is not guaranteed to get all of these. So I assume that you can choose 3 out of these, and then there is an equal distribution of 1/3 for each stat. So yeah, you're more likely to get one of these free stats, and then between the secondary stat or the skill stat, you only can choose one. So you cannot choose both of these. So either of these will be still RNG, but it definitely helps. And yeah, you have to use these tickets, and they are pretty expensive, but you can buy them with the money that you generated through your factory. Yeah, this is so I think this aspect is still very okay in this game.
Looking for me?
Other than that, I think there's not really anything else for gear. If I did not miss out on something, if I did, then definitely tell me in the comments and correct me. And yeah, next part, 6 point comparison to other similar titles, for example, Genshin, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. So I played all of these. Zenless Zone Zero I didn't play for too long, I think a maximum of 2 weeks. Wuthering Waves I played for 6 months, and Genshin Impact I started in the beta, and I played I think 3.5 years or 3 years when Nahida released. Then I did a break of 9 months, and I came back when then I came back when Farina released, I think, and then I did another break and came back when Moika released. And now I'm not playing Genshin at the moment. But this was the game that I did play the longest. But yeah, if I compare it, I'd say the most fun early game experience of these, I think, was Wuthering Waves or Genshin. I mean, I cannot really count Genshin because Genshin, to its time when it's released, was completely new. It was innovative. Everyone was obsessed with Genshin Impact. That's why I don't know if it is a fair comparison, because now Wuthering Waves and Arknights Endfield, at least in terms of the open world aspect, are nothing new. Arknights Endfield just brought the factory system in there, which made it freshly and new. And yeah, it also had some improvements on other things. But yeah, I'd say the open world aspects and the combats are still kind of similar in Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and Arknights Endfield. Zenless Zone Zero is not open world, but it is a game where you do fight. Honkai Star Rail is also not an open world game, and it is turn-based, which I also do not compare it. But Tower of Fantasy was open world and had a similar combat system. But yeah, it was not enjoyable enough, so I think Tower Fantasy definitely was the worst out of these. But I think Genshin, Wuthering Waves, Arknights, Endfield, they are, for me, kind of on the same level. But the thing that I give Arknights Endfield the plus is that I wasn't limited. In Genshin and in Wuthering Waves, in both games, during that time, I wanted to play the game the whole time. And I thought in Genshin I was limited very, very quickly. So after you've finished the story at, I think on the first day on adventure rank level 24 or something, you are capped. And the only way to continue is to refill your stamina, which you don't want to do as a free-to-play in the early game because you want to save your stamina. But yeah, if you want to progress through the story, you had to do that step to get further ahead. Here in Arknights Endfield, I didn't feel as limited. I think I could have go and continue the game on and on and on because I played the game especially in the first 7 days. I'd say first day I didn't count because I said in the early game it was very boring, so I stopped after 1 hour and then I played the next day. Next day I played, I only think 5 to 6. So now on the third day, I played the whole day and I played into the night. And on the fourth day, I did the same. And the fifth day, I did the same. Sixth day, I did the same. Seventh day, I did the same. So yeah, from day 3 to day 7, I played the game the whole day into the night. I started early in the morning, like not too early in the morning. I'd say like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. probably. And then I played like until 2 to 3 a.m. midnight every day for the first weekend. This was such an enjoyable part in this game. But in Genshin, I was kept, so I had to stop and do something else. I'd like to continue to play the game, but there was nothing really to do except maybe for ore farming or something, but that didn't progress heavily into your account. For Wuthering Waves, it was not that bad, because, yeah, you could refill your stamina to progress, but I didn't do that, so I think it was alright to do something else, because there was, yeah, I just did a lot of exploration then, so I felt this was still alright in Wuthering Waves. But yeah, I also felt a little bit capped on this one. So in terms of caption for the early game, enjoyment in Arknights Endfield was the best. Zenless of Zero is, I think, similar because it's a whole worse game like Genshin. So I was a little bit capped and I didn't enjoy the game and the pace of the game at all. I only did find that the combat system was really cool. But like the UID and all the other stuff was way too... I think was way too confusing for me, so I didn't continue to play this game. In general, comparing this game now to other games, I think this is equally fun to Genshin on its prime, I'd say even, because I really had a blast the last 2 weeks. It was really fun playing this game. So yeah, if I compare it, I'd say, I don't know, if I try to do it objectively, so if I say subjectively, I'd still put Genshin on 1, honestly, because it was new to its time. But I'd say Arknights Endfield over Wuthering Waves, at least for my personal opinion. I could get destroyed for that opinion, but this is my opinion. Genshin 1, subjectively, Arknights Endfield 2, and Wuthering Waves 3. But this is only for the first 2 weeks of play. Yeah, we have to see, because I played the other plays, I played way longer. But only for the first 2 weeks. But objectively, I'd say Arknights Endfield was the best because it was not kept. This is a very major issue in the other games because if I wanted to play the game, I could play the game at least for the first 2 weeks. And yeah, that leading into free-to-play experience. I'd say free-to-play experience is very, very good. I already covered a bit over the gacha system because you get, as I said, 3 6 operators at least. You get a lot of oro barrels. I wasn't lucky, as you guys might know, but I was able to get Levitane, the current limited character, and her weapon. And I even have another copy of that weapon. And I'd say I wasn't lucky. I wasn't lucky pulling that character because I didn't pull her early. I pulled her on the pity. The only problem was that I needed to go to endgame to pull her. So after I completely finished the story, I did go ham mode on exploration for my last multi because I was at 110. 120 is the pity, and I did go completely ham with my characters on exploration to farm that last multi. But it was doable. I didn't have to put in any money to get all that I want. And as you can see, I now have I can now have all characters because I today got the 6th selection operator, and I'm only missing Amber. And then I have all characters that are currently available in the game. I mean, yeah, Gilberto and Yvonne are releasing next, and they're technically are in the game right now, but I only count them as they're releasing. And yeah, if you go there, as you can see, I had all these characters, and I'm still at this amount of pulls. I still have 33 Origeometries, and I still have 14,800 Ouroboros, which is now equal to 3 multis. But I'm now at the very, very end game, honestly. So there's not really much that I can get. And yeah, there's this point that I want to talk next about. So to summarize the free-to-play aspect, yes, for the first 2 weeks, this game is completely free-to-play friendly. As I just said, early game is a bit clunky, but they did help a lot with that by giving some materials today if you log in, where you can craft early game gear, and as well as a 6-star selector operator. So I think this is a lot to help through the early game in this game. End game, the problem is that there is no end game mode right now. I think this is common knowledge along all players, and there are rumors, I heard about it, I'm not sure, I heard about that there will be an end game mode releasing on Chinese New Year. This is, I think, in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks is Chinese New Year's, and I think in this week, there are rumors, or I don't know if it is confirmed or something, I'm not that informed about it, I just heard that there will be the release of an end game content. That is something that is missing right now, because the problem is, yeah, I'm upgrading my whole gear and I'm maximizing my factory and stuff to get my characters to their max level, but I don't have a clue what I'm doing it for right now. There's not such thing as a spiral abyss or a memory of chaos in this game. So that also is missing a consistent source of farming Ouroboros, but yeah, this is right now the problem. And leading into that, we talk about longevity and what is now with Arknights Endfield. For right now, I definitely say I will continue to play the game, but because there is no end game and my honeymoon phase pretty much is over, because now I'm starting just to log in, do my dailies, farm up the whole map, and then I log out because there's nothing else to do, because I played through the whole game. I did every side quest. I mean, yeah, there's still some exploration that I can do. As you can see here, I'm still missing like 70 chests and some of these aura lands here, but I don't know, I can do this in less than a day by using a interactive map if I want to. And other than that, I only go to the gathering tips in the menu, and then I farm up the whole map. I do this like for a couple more days, but then I think I have enough materials for everything. So I mostly do my routine. I start here on Valley Pass, go to gathering tips, then I farm up the map here, then I go to the next one, do this again, and then you can see then the list is a little bit longer, and that is what I'm doing right now. And then, of course, I try to deplete my sanity, the stamina system in this game. Yeah, the thing I want to cover actually is the sanity system, so don't want to talk about this too much. Yeah, I think this is very common, like in other games. There's even some of the content that I didn't do yet, because I didn't feel the need to. I don't know. Right now I don't need Ouroboros. I can still do this if I need them. I don't need the XP right now. There is not really a goal that I want to reach right now, and that is the problem for the longevity. Because there is no end game, I don't really know what I'm working for right now. So the first 2 weeks were completely enjoyable. I had a blast. This was one of the most fun games that I played in a very long time for the first 2 weeks. But now, since there's no end game, I think, yeah, I still have things to do, because I have the exploration, as I already mentioned, and I still can upgrade my characters, and that is kind of fun. But it doesn't take my whole day anymore. It just takes a couple of minutes, maximum an hour, if I want to, because I farm a whole map. And I also do think that in a couple of days, it is not really worth it to farm my map anymore, because I have enough of the materials. I don't need anymore. And then there is zero content except for logging in, doing dailies, they're playing Sanity, and then I'm logging off. And yeah, that is actually right now the problem. So in summary, get to the last point to end the video. Do I recommend this game? Yes, I do recommend this game. This is the first thing that I want to get out of here is if you ever enjoyed Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, a similar game to that. If you ever enjoyed Factory System, or if you want to try out something new, I do recommend this. Don't feel intimidated from this factory system. You will get into it. Even I got into it, and I'm not at all into factories. Don't be scared of gacha system. One of the very positive aspects is if you start now, you're not too late. Because as I said, there's no end game, and I'm pretty much capped right now because I'm only into upgrading my characters. But right now, I don't know for what I do upgrade these characters. I just do it because it's fun. I like to do it. Maybe there's the end game mode coming out. But right now, if you start today, in 2 weeks, there's Chinese New Year. And maybe there is the new end game content. I think you won't be too far behind from my account right now. I mean, I am authority level 53. But I have the feeling that it doesn't mean anything right now that I'm authority level 53. My characters are strong, yeah, but other than that, I'm really capped. So if you still start today, you won't be way too far behind in 2 weeks if you grind the game out. So you will have the time of your life, but you have to get through the first 4 hours, which are kind of torture. But yeah. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy my very in-depth 10 bullet point, 10 guideline review, honest review of Arknights Endfield. And yeah, subscribe to the channel for more Arknights Endfield content. And see you guys next time. Bye.